like I'm a registered nurse actually by profession. Say something, you want to share your problems.
What do you think with average age would be?
Early pregnancy is very normal. Go away from your family to remove stress. I believe in that, boss.
Here we are today, catching up with boss Joycee, recruitment superstar, recruitment Lodi, all around amazing person, very fun and bubbly. Boss Joyce. Her first name is my last name. We're likely related, I think. If anything, it just reinforces that Joyce is a Filipino name and I'm a Filipino. I think that's what it does. But I'm really excited to unpack Joyce's story and give her an insight into the amazing person that she is. Let's crank this. She jumped in last minute too. It wasn't her turn this week, but she's taken one for the team. Hey, Boss Joycee, how are you? That's good. We're recording. Thank you so much for jumping in last minute. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
How is your morning going?
All good. So, yeah, started my morning, as part of the job, checking emails, phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome, boss. Thanks so much for jumping in with 11 with my Lodi. Like I said, it was on short notice, so I appreciate the effort and energy. And I think it's kind of cool too because you have less time to think about it, right? You're like, hey, what's he going to ask me? What are we going to talk about? Like, let's just do it and rip the Band-Aid off.
Yes, and I don't want to, vacant our schedule because there's a lot of PA on the line. So,
Yeah, for sure. And I think we've got like maybe 10 or 11 episodes recorded now, which is really cool. And we've got to start publishing them. But yeah, we found ourselves a really good cadence. Let's get into it. I want to unpack and learn more about you, boss, who you are, where you grew up, where your values lie. So if you can sort of go back to your childhood, tell us a little bit about your childhood and where you grew up.
yeah, well, I grew up here to our same house, actually. I've been living here for like 33 years. Um, yeah, I was
Where's he?
I'm
Where's he?
actually living here in Caloocan. It's like 2 hours from Manila, where you stayed before last few months ago here in Philippines. So I grew up here. I studied here. I've finished nursing. Like I'm a registered nurse actually by profession. Um, I've actually worked like 2 years in medical field. Like I used to be a nurse in a public hospital. At the same time, I used to work in an orphanage and home for the aged. And for me, that's the most exciting part of my work life, working in elderly people. Because I believe if you're going to talk to a person who is older than you, you're going to learn a lot from them.
For sure. What was some of the lessons you learnt from them elderly people?
I used to have a patient. She's like a Black American. She is part of that specific community that started that home for the aged. Well, that time she's one of the patients already. So she said to me to enjoy life, because how do I say this? She's actually a nun.
Yeah.
She grew up in a church, a Catholic church. So he never experienced love, boyfriends, love life. So she told me, enjoy life. Don't be like me. Something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
If you don't have any calling to be a servant of God, enjoy life. Because actually she's experiencing what we call here like a cervical cancer,
Yeah.
um, because maybe because of her lifestyle. So that's it. Enjoy
Wow.
life, live your life to the fullest, do your best, forget about what will happen tomorrow, focus on what will gonna happen today, something like that. But of course, you need to be futuristic.
It's powerful, isn't it? Isn't it a funny? It's a funny thing to try to balance because, like, we need to live in the moment and not worry or concern ourselves with tomorrow, but we also need to be prepared for tomorrow in case it does come. So it's like we need to live today like it's our last, but also we need to prepare for tomorrow because it might not be our last day.
Exactly. So my point of view there is that focus on what you can control, something
Yeah.
like that.
I
So
like
that
it. Yeah, that's
that's
really,
what
really
I
cool.
do. Yeah.
So, as a child, where like, did you have brothers and sisters? Tell us a little bit about your home life.
Yes, actually, we're actually four. I mean, we're five siblings actually. I have two brothers and two brothers and two sis. Me and my sister. So we're actually five. No, no. Yeah, sorry. I
You're
have
four.
one. Yeah, I have one brother that's gonna be from the first family of our father.
Yeah.
He just died a few months ago. I'm not sure if Jomel told you that I went to our province because of that. And then right now I have one brother and one sister.
Okay.
Two
Cool.
two of my brothers already passed away. The first one, he passed away last 2016, and then my eldest passed away last this May to 2024.
How old were they, boss?
Oh, my eldest brother is he's 54 years old. He's almost the same age with my mom actually. And then my second brother, he died at the age of 29. That's way back
Wow, that's young.
2016. Yeah, that's too young.
Was it an accident or is
No,
he unhealthy?
he has like a cyst on his excuse me, a cyst on his internal organs.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like when you lost like siblings like that, does that also give you a different perspective on life?
Yeah, that's where I actually that's why me and Joms are friends because we are very pro in insurance, in funeral, we already bought our funeral just in case anything happens, we're ready, something like that. Our family is ready. So that's actually my perspective because of those happenings in my life. Especially, Courtney, I also lost my father at a very young age. Like I believe I'm just 11 years old. So with that, that makes me, say, tell myself that, hey, be ready. You need to be ready for your future. You might got lost anytime. We never know. So we need to be prepared.
Yeah, yeah. I like that, boss. I like it a lot. So, you were you close with your siblings when you were younger, like when you were like still at school? Yeah, you're very
Yeah, of
close.
course. Me and my brother are very close. The
Yeah,
eldest one actually not really because he grew up on province. Since we had a different mom, so he grew on province. But me and my brother, the other brother, we grew up together here in Manila.
yeah. Okay, cool. And tell me a little bit about your schooling, like your primary schooling. Was that like, did you enjoy school? Were you good at school?
I'm actually a typical student wherein I go to school every day. After school, I go to party. We drink. We we
Yeah.
party, something like that. So I'm not really I passed every time we had an exam, but I'm not really focused on studying hard, something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
to balance my life. Because when I was a student, when I was in college specifically, I don't have my mom here. She's actually working overseas to,
Yeah.
to sustain our needs financially. Especially, we are actually studying. Me and my three siblings are in college. You know how expensive tuition fees here in Philippines. So that's actually challenging for me. It's very hard to study without your parents guidance. So during that time I learned how to be independent, you know. um but my mom told me not to work during my school days because she wants me to focus on my school. So yeah, after school I do party. Yeah, so that's it, that's me.
So when your did your mum like left the country to work ultimately purely just to like pay for college for you guys?
Actually, up until now, she's currently overseas.
Okay.
So the money that she's earning, she's just enjoying it for herself.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
And how long does she? Sorry, go.
she's very look she looks young, you know. And the secret of being fresh during your 60s, go away from your family to remove stress. I believe in that, boss.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. What country is she in?
She's currently in UAE. She's
Okay.
actually an accountant,
Yeah.
an
Yeah, cool.
MBA.
And does she come like back to the Philippines very often or at all?
She used to come home like once a year, maximum of 1 month. So that's gonna
Yeah.
be part of her company perks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. And what was some of the challenges for you like going through school without like the guidance or like without your parents?
Actually, as what I said, it's very challenging because it's very hard that sometimes you need to be independent. Sometimes if you feel like you need someone that you want to, say something, you want to share your problems, you need to keep it, you know. So it's very hard, but then again I learned that um being independent is very, I mean, that makes me strong, you know.
Yeah.
That makes me, it's very hard to explain, boss, actually, because they even ask me, hey, normally here in Philippines, early pregnancy is very, very normal. You know that, boss.
Yeah.
But I got my first
Like
child.
what's the average age for like the first baby? What do you think with average age would be?
For me, that's gonna be 24. Because
Yeah.
when you're 20, you've already finished your school, your study. You have 4 years working. I think that's the time that you might you already have a stable job, so you can, start a new family. So for me, that's 24. But I got my first baby when I was 27, turning 28. So yeah, very, very, I mean, not really not normal, but if you're gonna see the Filipino culture, mostly if a student or if a child doesn't have a family or a mom or a dad who guides them, early pregnancy is very normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
And
something
who
that
was
didn't come to my mind during my college days because I am really focused on to finish my study and get a job because I
Yeah.
really want to help my mom.
Yeah, that's cool. And who was sort of raising or guiding you, like when you're like during them school? Like, did you have someone to sort of turn to? Was it grandparents?
No, actually, we grew up independent.
Yeah,
Um, no, nothing. No one. We stay
And do
here.
you like? And your brothers and sisters, are you like? Where do you sit with them? Are you the eldest or the youngest? Like, where do
No,
you sit?
my sister already has a family during that time, so she went out to our house. Me and my brother, it's like a 1 year difference only. And then our youngest is like 4 years difference from me. So it's like during that time, my mom went out to Philippines when I was like 15 years old. So starting that age, we became independent.
What was that? It's incredible. What was it like when your mum told you that she was moving overseas when you're 15?
Actually, I saw my mom crying. Like it's very hard for a mom to leave her child,
Yeah,
but she said that we need to be strong because there's we are the only we are the only person who can help her. There's
yeah,
nothing else we can lean on except us. So that's it. That's actually at first it's hard, but if you'll get used to it,
yeah. And so were you living in the city then or in the province?
it's a city. Yeah.
Yeah. And like when something like that happens, like because it's not super uncommon to happen, right? Like that it does happen. Like do your neighbors sort of take an extra care for you guys or look over you to keep you
No,
safe?
no,
Not really. It's just up to
not
you.
really. Yeah. I
That's
can
what.
say
Yeah.
that, yeah, maybe I can. I'm actually getting guidance on our church. I normally go to church every Sunday. If I need a guidance, we have our pastor. Yeah, so I think that's where
Okay.
I
Cool.
get my guidance. But for our neighbors, relatives, nah.
And how does it change, like you now as a mother? Like how has your experience influenced you as a mother?
Well, of course, I want to give all the things that I did not get during my childhood time to my kids. But then again, of course, teaching them how to be independent is very important to me.
Yeah,
That's why if you can see, boss, I always have a time to coffee time with Joms and Van because I taught my kids how to be independent. They can still stay home with my sister here without me. So
yeah,
they can do their assignment. They'll be just asking me if they really don't know the answer. If they really can see that on Google. At the early age, boss, I taught them how to search their homeworks in Google.
yeah,
You know, the secret of being a VA. Google is your
yeah.
best friend.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. 100%. Like, it's interesting, right? Because like we do have, there's so many tools and information available for us. That I think we're still in like a really weird transition time that like sometimes people will look at Google like that's not learning or it's almost cheating. But the goal is to find the answer as fast as possible. Like if you can get a
Exactly.
computer to help you, then like it makes all the sense in the world. Because I know
Exactly.
what when my kids bring home homework, I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. Like it could be something mathematical. Like I don't know. Like I don't even know how they're working that out. So yeah, I think like it helps teach them that the tools that we have available to us are helpful and useful, and lean on them.
Exactly. And kids nowadays are very lucky because during our time before, um, we need to go on library, to do our research, right, boss? But now
Yeah.
they have the Google library is not so important to them. So
Yeah. I tell you a funny story. I had to go do a project, and we never had. We were one of the very rare families that didn't have a computer in our house. Like we never had a computer, and I didn't. And this is when I was probably like 14 years old. I didn't know how to use a computer. I didn't know how to turn it on. I didn't know how to um, log into the internet. And I had to go to the library to use their computer. And I booked it for 1 hour and I was too embarrassed to tell them that I didn't know how to turn it on. I just sat there for an hour and then left. It was another funny story. I didn't have a computer until I brought my first computer when I started Hunter Valley Housekeeping in 2019. Before that, I didn't have a computer. I just used my phone. And that was the first time I started interacting and working on a laptop, which is
Laptop.
pretty wild. Yeah,
Mm,
pretty wild.
yeah.
So, what are some of your hobbies and interests, boss? What do you like to do?
I used to read books before, but as time goes by, my eyes can't. So that's why I used to, use audiobooks only. I love coffees, travel, what else? Um,
How many coffees do you
during
have a day?
minimum of 3 cups.
Yeah, yeah. And what sort of coffee do you drink? How do you have your coffee?
I love brewed coffees without sugar, without dairy.
Just black coffee.
Black coffee, yeah.
Yeah, me too. They're the best.
Yeah. That's the sign of your that you're aging. That we are
Is
aging.
it black coffee?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
saw in social media.
I, re- I remember my auntie. I was only a kid. I probably would have only been like 5 or 6. And I remember she used to drink coffee in like it was a glass mug and it was see through and you could just see black coffee. I remember like black coffee would disgust me. I couldn't understand why anyone would just drink black coffee
Exactly.
because like most people will drink it like with milk and with like maybe two.
Sugar,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like super
caramel.
sweet. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I like the bitterness of it. I think it's yeah. I like the bitterness of the coffee.
Yeah, the nicotine level of our body increase. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that the Philippine, like in Australia, we have a pretty big coffee scene. Like there are a lot of cafes, a lot of baristas, like a lot of people take their coffee very serious. In the US, is similar to the Philippines. It's like basically just a pot, like it's a brewed pot of coffee. And if you go to a coffee, and this is the interesting part, in Australia, you'll get like a freshly ground bean that's brewed by a barista out of like a special expensive machine. In the US or the Philippines, when you order a coffee, they just pour it out of the pot. Like it's
Mm,
like almost it's just instant. Like I like that coffee as much as I like the barista, but it's no cheaper. It's still pretty expensive to get a coffee in the Philippines, boss.
yeah, I agree. It's like almost $4 to $5.
Yeah,
Starbucks,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for
I
sure. It's
think
not cheap.
exactly. Especially the pods, if the espresso, if you request another espresso shot, another fee for that. But if you're
Yeah,
gonna, you remember, boss, the place where we celebrate our what do we call here, the activities on Batangas. There's
yeah,
a lot of brewed coffees there. It's just that we have
yeah.
a short time during your visit here in the Philippines. But
Okay.
maybe next time,
Yeah, we have to do a
Batangas.
coffee. I'm all about doing like a coffee crawl. So we'll go to one cafe, then we'll go to the next cafe, and we have a coffee and a cake at every cafe. That'll
Yeah,
be the go.
that's what that's what we're doing here. Actually, with
Yeah.
Ben and Joms, we are actually checking who's the best coffee shop here.
What you guys need to record that. That needs to be. That's a good content piece, I think.
Yeah, well, I'll tell that to the vet. Actually, we
What's
had
your
a lot of
favorite?
pictures.
Yeah, you got a lot of pictures
Yeah, we got. So we'll share that to our Google Drive. Don't
for
worry,
sure.
boss. Well,
For
my
sure.
favorite was macchiato.
What is that?
Macchiato, it's like a brewed coffee with a bit of caramel and
Right.
dairy. Yeah,
And dairy?
yeah, a milk. Yeah, milk, fresh
It's
milk.
like that. Is that like a treat? Like you have that on a special occasion?
Not really, but that's mostly my order in Starbucks.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there's like
cool.
an occasion, I normally request brewed coffee.
Yeah. And do you? What's your favorite? What's your favorite treat to have with your coffee? Is it banana bread? Is it a croissant?
Oh, I love garlic bread.
Garlic bread with your
Garlic
coffee.
bread. Yeah, with coffee.
Wow.
That's weird because normally garlic bread needs to be paired on a pasta, right? but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it in coffee. I don't know what kind of taste,
Wow.
but
Yeah, yeah. And do you put coffee in your rice, or is that just? I think Joms does that. Is that normal?
mm,
Have you
no.
seen Joms do that or not?
Um, we're actually using Jom's coffee machine. So
Right.
yeah, but
I've seen. So I can't remember who it was. Someone said that they have like a bowl of rice, and I'm pretty sure it's Joms. And she puts like coffee in her rice and has like coffee rice.
I don't know. No,
I'm
no.
gonna message her. I'm gonna message her and ask her.
I think she's doing that during on her province, but I don't think that's applicable here in Manila because we're using her coffee machine.
Yo, like you
You
took it
took
to
it
your
to your
house.
house. Yeah, actually, coffee. John's house is our office.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
That's the
virtual
virtual
spotter
spotter
BPO.
BPO. Yeah, that's the virtual spotter BPO version.
Yeah. How far
How
away
far away
from
from
Joms do
John's
you
do you
live?
live? It's like 5 to 10 minutes ride.
Easy
Easy
peasy.
peasy. Exactly.
That's
That's
cool.
cool. But when
Um,
it's much nearer here, it's like 5 minutes away from Ben's house.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. It's cool that you're
That
so
is so
close
close
together and
together
you
and
can
you can
interact
interact
and
and
hang out
hang
with
out
each
with each
other.
other. Yeah.
So
So
outside of
outside of
work,
work,
you
you
travel.
travel.
What do
What
you do? You
do you
eat
eat
out
out
much, or
much,
you
or you
mostly
mostly
eat at
eat at
home?
home? Well, here in our home, we normally cook like simple foods. So the reason why I do that it's because I still want my kids to be excited eating delicious food when we go out. Because
Yeah,
normally,
for
boss,
sure.
if you notice, Filipino foods are very delicious, right? It's very
Yeah,
yummy.
like sweet, like the sweet or the savory ones,
Exactly.
or both.
However, I still want my kids to, you know, feel that yeah, it's still yummy, it's still delicious, but then again, I want my foods here in our home to be like still different compared to like the foods in a restaurant. But of course, during weekends, that's our schedule. That's my schedule, my family time. We used to go at the mall. Sometimes we go to Ven's house. If we want
Yeah,
delicious foods, we're gonna go to Ven's house.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
it.
good.
So,
Awesome. As as your how many kids do you have, boss?
I'm sorry, what?
How many children? How many
I
children do you have?
I got two, a girl and a boy.
And how old are they?
My eldest is 8 and my youngest is 6. Actually,
Okay.
boss, the reason why me and Jomel became friend because we met at BPO, and then I speak to her like, "Hey, you look like my kid," because she really looks like my daughter, boss.
Wow.
If you're gonna look at my daughter, you're gonna tell, "Is really Hera your daughter?" Or this kid.
Wow. Wow.
Even the attitude, they do have the same with John. So
Wow. And does Hera and your daughter get along well? Are they good friends?
they are best friend actually. Hera used to
That's
stay
cool.
here like a week. You know, if she's bored at home, she always tell her mom that she wanna go here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And what sort of values do you raise your children on now, boss? Like what like how do you influence your children?
Well, as usual, I want them to grow. Of course, they know how to respect other people. I'm not actually expecting them to be good on school. However, what I want them to be, to become, is to be like a good people, a good person, a God fearing, and what else? Actually, my kids are quiet. They are not like
Yeah.
other kids. Like they are not that like other kids that who's very naughty. No, they're not. Um, If you say that they need to do these things, they will really do that thing. You know,
That's cool.
I taught them how to. I mean, actually, me, I believe in late gratification.
Yeah.
So that's why I do them, and I normally do the reward system discipline to them.
And what's that? Tell me that. Tell me,
reward
like, explain it to me.
reward system meaning to say, if I'm not asking them to do specific things, for example at school, if for example my eldest, he got he is actually the second honor in his school last year.
Wow.
So with that, he is actually he has he we bought the thing that he wanted to at the mall. Like for example, last time we bought him a phone because that's what he want as a reward since he got
Yeah.
this, something like that. So that's how
So
I
cool.
train my kids.
Yeah. So yeah, like if you do something amazing, you will get rewarded for that.
Exactly. Not only
Yeah.
in school
Yeah.
but also other activities like, hey mom, I clean our room, something like that.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah. I
maintain
like it.
that, yeah, that's my what we call here, that's my way to train them how to be responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it a lot. Do you have any goals personally, boss, or professionally? Like anything that you're working towards at the moment?
Well, I'm full time here in Virtual Spotter, so I believe that um, as what I've mentioned, I really wanted to work at Virtual Spotter until I got 80s or 60s.
Yeah.
you know, I want to grow old with this company because
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
not only work, I also have friends in a second family. I have a good, I had you guys, a great mentors and
Yeah,
leaders. So what can I ask for more, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
with
And
this,
do you? Sorry, Bosco.
no, no, boss, you continue.
Yeah, like what does that mean to you? Like being able to have like an environment that you're happy and that supports you and your goals. Like, have you had that prior? Is that rare for you?
Actually, boss, I feel blessed on this kind of job because I used to be on BPO for like 10 years. I used to handle, um, I believe I already shared that before. I work at Telstra. I handled new people, like the new applicants. I'm actually handling like 10 teams at the same time. So
Well,
so it's very hard. Like every time I go home after work, I need to, walk at the mall, drink coffee. So, before I go home, I release my stress, something like that. The stress level is very different. Like the time that I had the VA or work already, the stress from 90% down to 10%.
wow,
That's the decrease
big
of my
difference.
stress. Exactly. At the same time, of course, you enjoy the work life balance. You
Yeah,
know, at first it's difficult because of adjustment. But then as time goes by, you will feel that, hey, of course, you have your peace of mind. You're not stressed.
yeah,
You have time for your family. You have a salary. You are growing. You are growing, your career is growing, you're learning a lot. So what can I ask more, right?
yeah. I
So
think it's cool that like when you find yourself in a positive environment, like that is when you operate at a really high level as well. Like when you're stressed, it's hard to operate at a high level when you're stressed. So
exactly.
like being able to find yourself in an environment that is fun, supportive, it's much easier to like think of cool creative ideas and solve bigger problems.
Exactly. And also if you're stressed, you are very prone in sickness, different kind of
Yeah,
sickness, because in on during my BPO days, I always got confined at least 2 to 3 times a year.
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
stress. So in my 4 years in VA world, nah.
Yeah.
And my
Even
best
just
friend
being
is
able to.
paracetamol.
And what was that? Sorry, what was that?
My best friend is paracetamol. Panadol.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard that before. That's cool.
um, John's just wrote back as well. She said, "I said, do
Do
you
you
put
put
coffee
coffee
in
in
your
your
rice?"
rice?
She
She
said,
said,
"Yes,
yes,
boss.
boss.
I
I
do."
do.
He why? You have to ask her
I'll check her rice
that.
box, boss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think she has it for like she doesn't eat breakfast, but I think she has it for like a mid morning snack or for lunch. Maybe it's yummy. Maybe we have to try it. She might be onto something.
Sure. If you want a
uh,
good food, boss, you better go to Ven's house.
yeah, I'm
Her
afraid to go to
mom is
Ben's house because
Because
her mom is the
he
best
just cooked
chef.
delicious.
Yeah.
Really?
Even Ben, actually, he's a good cook. So, mm.
I
I
want
want
to
to
try
try
his
his
cookies.
cookies.
That's like my kryptonite. It's like my weakness. Cookies. I want to try them.
Boss, that's actually my favorite.
Really?
I
The
mean,
cookies?
I don't like cookies actually. I'm not fond of eating cookies, but when I taste Ben cookies, wow,
Wow.
is this
Especially if they're
real?
caramel.
The caramel and the walnuts, boss, with a bit of
No.
a coffee. There's a twist. There's a
Incredible.
kick on his cookies.
Delicious. I'm all about that. Well, it's been wonderful to catch up with your boss and learn all about you and your family and who you are and what you stand for. Incredibly grateful to have you in our team. And you've been with us for like years and years now, right? And I'm very grateful for us to be able to work side by side together and interact and solve problems together. And yeah, I appreciate all the things that you do.
Thank you so much, boss.
I appreciate you. Salamat. Have a lovely day, boss.
You too, boss. Enjoy your day. Salamat.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Boss Joycee Lodi, incredible person, incredibly hard worker, an amazing mother, even better friend, just an all around great person. I appreciate her very much. I hope you liked that episode of 11 with My Lodi. Until next week, peace.